Hey everybody, to whoever watches this. I am Michelle, and I have decided to get the thoughts out of my head and put it in a video format. So this way I can come back later and watch it, maybe share my stories, my successes with anybody who would be watching, who might need a little pick-me-up, who might need a little I get it moment, or hey, sis is struggling, let me give her a hand, let me give her some advice, or whatever. It's gonna go both ways, and I kind of decided I was gonna make this a video that I can video blog, you know. I don't know. I'm older, so I don't know all the lingo, unfortunately. So I thought I would go on my manifesting journey of everything I'm looking for. And I go over the good days, the bad days, the things I achieved, the things I didn't achieve. Give a space for people to bring up their wins and their achievements. And I am not saying I'm coaching. I'm just more or less video diarying my life. And I'll give a prelude to my life. And that is, I discovered manifesting about 2-3 years ago. And I started with that law of attraction where you have to find your vibration and whatever the heck that means. And no one can really truly answer what that means. And I had a lot of questions. I had more questions than I had answers to. So I just found a law of assumption, and that seemed a little hokey. That seemed a little, I'm not going to say too good to be true, but it seemed a little bit too far-fetched. Like, too delusional. And the more I spent time with it, the more I'm realizing, I'm putting pieces together and realizing, this may actually have something going for it. So, no, I didn't just drink my coffee either. I watched a bunch of videos. Now, I drive for a living, so I am in my car alone a lot. And I end up watching a lot of videos, not because I'm insecure, but because it's a voice. It's something I can listen to and I can get caught up in, and I can just have in the background. It's not the same music, the same songs over and over and over again. And I decided I'm going to start listening to manifesting videos to get my focus where it needs to be, or I would want it to be. So I ended up watching a lot of, I don't know, can you name people that you listen to? I don't know. So I'm going to do it anyway. I listen to Kim Velez. I listen to Manifesting with Kimberly. I listen to Natalie Dance. I listen to 2020. I listen to a little bit. I dabble in Roxy. And those are the ones I mainly listen to. I find they're the most authentic and the ones I just connect to the most. So, oh, and definitely I started listening to, and at first I was put off by her, but then eventually I fell in love with her, and that would be, and I guess she manifested me to fall in love with her. I don't know. But, crap. Sammy Ingram. She's the other one. And I love how real and raw she is, and she's just so authentic. I was a Dylan James fan. I still am a Dylan James fan. He just is not on as often. He comes in bursts. He talks a bunch, then he's gone for a while. Then he talks a bunch, and he's gone for a while. So he's kind of hard to be consistently attached to and listening to. But I guess once you get to a point where you've said everything you've wanted to say, how many times you can repeat yourself, right? So I listen to these folks over and over and over again, and I listen to whatever new stories they have to say, or anything uplifting they have to say, or anything that might relate to my life in that moment. And I just take it in, and some stuff sticks, some stuff doesn't. So one of the things that I've noticed is, for me, whenever I try to feel it real, that doesn't usually manifest into anything for me. Some people it does. Some people it's really like the go-to place for them. But every time I try to feel it real, I've gotten so emotionally invested in what I'm feeling that I've brought to tears, and I got nothing. I see nothing. Ignore my dog. So then I've tried just, this is it. This is where I'm at. This is what my intention is. And I look like garbage shit. This is it. This is my intention today. Or this is my intention for X situation or X scenario, or this is what I want. I'm setting intentions. This is what I'm going to get. And then I go about my life. That is exactly what manifests. So now Sammy sits there and goes on about, you should focus, you should repeat. Repetition is key. Repetition is key. It changes your mindset. And I totally will agree with this one, in the idea that you got to keep repeating to yourself what the story is that you want. Because if you don't, you're going to do what I end up doing is, in your alone time, you start reverting back to the old story, because the whole old story already has happened. It's printed news on the newspaper. You open a newspaper, there's your news. That's your old story. And it already happened. You can keep rereading the story because the story is tangible in your hand. You read it, you have it. It already happened. So in your brain, you keep reverting back to the news clipping that you keep in your pocket because it's the same thing. It's what already has occurred. Whereas creating a new story sometimes requires mental effort to put the story together. And then you have to keep reminding yourself of what the news story is, and to forget that you have the news clipping in your pocket. And that's where I tend to fail, is because I know for myself, I have ADHD. It's a bitch. And I keep trying to manifest that one away. It hasn't happened yet. Squirrel. And I will sit there and I will repeat myself for a while. But then when I'm alone and I'm in a fluster and caught up, I'll automatically revert back to the previous story. Not helpful when you're trying to manifest the new story. When you keep going back and forth, that's bad. And I keep reverting back to the new story. Now, it didn't click with me how to drop the old story and focus on the new one until this morning. So I've manifested a ton of things, and as I keep deciding to record, I'll tell more and more and more stories, and hopefully my stories will relate to somebody else. I'm not a coach, at least not right now. No one's asked me to be their coach. That's totally fine. I'm more or less just putting my story out there and just being authentically me. Little bags in a mask. I'm 42. I have bags in a mask, whatever. I'm getting a little wrinkly, a little saggy, whatever. I'm not pretty. That's fine. Yeah, it's really cool. But some of these people are all made up. I'm not getting made up. I'm more or less just sharing my personal life and just talking about, with discretion, of course. And I'm just more or less looking to put together a video diary of talking to someone instead of talking to the windshield and hoping for the best, Even if no one else watches it, it's allowing me to get this stuff out of my head. So what happened was, there is a situation in which somebody pretended to be me in order to break up someone's relationship in an effort to hurt somebody else. It was a lot of work. To have to go through all that was a lot of work that I wouldn't have put in. I'm not into hurting people. I actually get upset if I hurt people. I don't enjoy. You really gotta piss me off for me to want to hurt you. And even then, I'm not a big fan of it. I figure karma will do your justice. But it bothers me that somebody would go through all this work to get to hurt me and to hurt somebody else and to get them to distrust me. So I haven't been letting go of that story. It happened about a month and a half ago. And I have not been able to let go of the story at all. So I keep rewriting the story that I want, but I'm not 100% certain what that new story is that I want. So it's just generic and vague, and it's not sticking. So I keep reverting back to the story, and I keep thinking that this person's mad at me because of said story, and this other person we'll call them an SP, a specific person. It could be anybody. Doesn't need to be romantic. And so this SP, I'm worried that they're mad at me because of this falsehood that has gone down. So I am not letting it go. It very well may not be the truth at all. It's just where my head is at. And I keep thinking that this person is mad at me because of this situation. So this morning I logged into World of Warcraft. I periodically dabble and play. I used to play hardcore. Don't play hardcore anymore. I only log in, do a couple quests, maybe play with my professions, do a couple things, and I leave. And I am only in for maybe like an hour or two a day, and that's it. If that. I oftentimes don't even make it every day. And I was playing a monk since Mist of Pandaria. So we're talking about 8 years now. I played a monk. Why this is important, I'll let you know. So I've played a monk endlessly since Mist of Pandaria. I would dabble with whatever new characters came out, whatever new races would come out, but I could never break myself away from playing my monk. It was the one character that I felt I knew intricately well. Intrinsically? Whatever. And I knew that one very, very well. Well, in this new expansion, they have these Drakthir evokers that came out. And I decided I'm really enjoying that more than my monk. And I decided I'm going to let the monk go and solely focus on the evoker. And what ended up happening was evoker is my new story. I started focusing so much on this new character that I don't even look for the old one anymore. I noticed it this morning. I logged in for a minute and to see what new quest popped up. And I just logged in for just a moment. And it dawned on me that I don't pay attention to my monk anymore. I said, I'm going to focus solely on this one. And I don't even log in as this character I've played endlessly for 8 years. I don't even log in anymore. And just like that, I switched my attention, I switched my focus, and I haven't looked back. I didn't even notice it anymore. And it just dawned on me, going, why can't I do that with my real life? Put together a new story of what I want. And I keep asking myself all day, every day, what do you want? What do you want? But my ADHD kicks in and I end up going, squirrel, monkey, weaker. And I don't end up paying attention to what the answer is. And I keep saying, in order to focus, I need to write down. I like writing. Writing is my go-to. And I need to write down what the story is that I want. What do I want? In romance, in friendships, in connections, in money, in work, in appearance and health, and what do I want? Short-term goals, long-term goals, what do I want? I'll get into that in another video later. But in this particular case, I need to sit down and write out what I want. What do I really, truly want? And I need to forget, much like the monk, I need to completely forget that other story. Forget that it even happened. Forget that anything has anything to do with anything, and just focus on what that new story is, to the point of pure delusion. As if the old story doesn't exist. I finally understand that. Finally click with me in the weirdest way that you just need to shift your state, shift your focus, and just drop that old story. As easy as that. As easy as, I'm going to pick up this new story now. I'm going to put my focus on this new story, not the old story. And that's it. So I downloaded, I have a thing on my computer and my phones of Microsoft To Do. And I don't know if anyone has it or anyone's used it. I often use OneNote to write out all my stories. I got tabs for everything, for all sorts of stuff. And I write out all sorts of things on there. But on To Do, it's a checklist. It's nothing more than just a checklist. And so I made a group of manifesting. And I wrote down different things. Money, career, relationships. And relationships don't need to be romantic. A relationship is a relation between you and another person. Could be mother-daughter, could be sister-brother, it could be friends, it could be a lover, it could be a coworker. It is a dynamic, it is a relationship. So it doesn't always need to be a romantic, when you say relationship, it doesn't need to be romantic. It just needs to be a connection between you and another person, whether it be a forced connection through work, whether it be a friendship connection, whatever. It's still considered a relation. It's a dynamic. It's a relationship. So it's a relationship between you and someone else. So what I wrote, so everything is written out in my to-do. And now it's time to start writing out what I want. What direction do I want my story to go in? What I need to let go of. And I think part of the reason why I think this person doesn't like me or doesn't want to be around me is nothing to do with them, because everyone's pushed out. So I think it's all about me, and that I am not letting go of the past. I am not letting go of what has gone down. I am not choosing to move past it, revise it, whatever. And it's showing up in my SP. They're coming back towards me with the same thoughts that are in my head. The more I keep thinking, oh, they're mad at me because of this. They're mad at me because of that. They've got to be mad at me because of X. And in reality, it's me. I'm mad at the situation. I'm mad at what has gone down. I'm upset. I'm continuously perpetuating the story that they're mad at me. They're mad at me. They're mad at me. So what's happening? They're mad at me. Time to change the story. Let's change the story, everybody. Time for Michelle to change her story. All right, I think that's it for this one video, and I will keep going with more. I'm sure this will change. I'm sure this will very much so change formats over the time that I do this. I'm just new with this entire concept of filming yourself and finding subjects to talk about. So, and I'm not offering coaching. It's more or less me manifesting stuff off my chest. So this way people can just join in and people can tell me, yes, this worked for me, or this happened to me, or, oh my God, this exact same experience happened to me, or, girl, you have this way wrong. Like, you're totally all screwed up. Like, the door's open for everybody to contribute, and everyone's going to. People have a comment on things, and that's fine. Everyone has an opinion, and it's healthy to talk about those opinions. I keep looking at the mirror because I keep looking at the window because there's someone out front of my house. So have a great rest of your day. And if no one has told you yet today, you're loved, you're important, and you got this. Whatever it is, you got this.